What is up, people? I hope you're doing great. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Well, for those of you I think it's Sunday pretty much in every country already. Because I was gonna say for those of you who are in the States, maybe it's still Saturday, but it's already Sunday there as well. Anyways, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day, and welcome to another video. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. It really massively helps, and also please like the video if you like the content, and please push the thumbs up, not the thumbs up, but push the notification bell, so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Now onto this video for today. I would like to talk about yesterday's fixtures with regards to the Big Six. Obviously, the Chelsea-Tottenham game is still going to play later tonight, today, and Liverpool are going to play Crystal Palace tomorrow at Anfield. So I'll probably make individual videos for those two games because they won't be playing today. One is going to be playing today and one's going to be playing tomorrow. So I'll make an individual video about that. Individual videos about those two games. But today I want to talk about yesterday's results. Obviously, starting with Arsenal. Arsenal were playing Leicester yesterday. I think I said Arsenal are going to win 3-1. They ended up winning the game 4-2. Good result for Arsenal. Really great performance from Gabriel Jesus. As I said in my, I think it was one, like, I forgot which video it was exactly, but I said I was happy for Gabriel Jesus that he's left Manchester City and he's gone to Arsenal. Maybe that's going to kick on his career. It's going to kickstart his career. And he's going to start, he's going to have a new fresh start, and he probably is going to be great for his career. And so far, it has proved to be that. Yesterday in the game, he was man of the match. He had 2 goals, he had 2 assists. Really great signing for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. So far, so good with regards to Arsenal. I'm really impressed with them because it looks like yesterday they had a full 90-minute performance whereby they performed from minute 1 to minute 90. And yes, there were a few errors with regards to their defense yesterday. Maybe they can obviously improve on that because they conceded 2 goals against Leicester, and the 2 goals they conceded, really, they should not be conceding goals like that. But Gabriel Jesus really played well for them, was a match winner for them yesterday. Everything that Arsenal created, Gabriel Jesus was involved in everything that Arsenal created yesterday. Without him, probably they draw the game or they lose the game. So really impressed with Arsenal and how they started their season. 2 wins from 2. They won against Crystal Palace. Tough game away at Selhurst Park. And then they won yesterday against Leicester. Obviously, it's a home game. And the fans at the Emirates really seem like they are connected with the team again. They really seem like they're happy with the way things are with regards to Mikel Arteta and how things are going at the at the football club. Sorry, that light, that was my ring light. I forgot to switch it on when I started the video. Sorry about that. As I was saying, that it really looks like Mikel Arteta has a squad really working hard for him. He's been really backed in the transfer market again, and so far so good with regards to their start of their start into this new season. Not like the horrendous start that they had last year, whereby they lost their opening 3 games. Albeit 2 of their opening 3 games were against Chelsea and Manchester City, and they lost those games. But they really have started well in this new season, and long may it continue for Arsenal fans. And then obviously the other game is thingy. The other game is in fact. Before I move on from the Arsenal game, I really think Gabriel Jesus has the potential to be one of the signings of the summer. Because really he's really made a big improvement in terms of the way Arsenal play. And he's really, it looks like he's raised the level of the team, because the team is now pressing with a high intensity because Gabriel Jesus has brought in that with him. And also the experience that he brings to the side, having won Premier League titles with Manchester City. I also think another player that has impressed early on for Arsenal is Alexander Zinchenko, also from Manchester City, who's been playing at left back. He started the first 2 games and it really looks silky in possession, silky and smooth in possession. And I think him and Gabriel Jesus, so Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus have really raised the levels at Arsenal. They bring in that winning experience. They've played in big games. They've played in Champions League finals. They've played in Champions League semi-finals. So they've been in the Champions League. They've won the Premier League. They've won the FA Cup. They've won the Carabao Cup. They've won pretty much everything except the Champions League, because City haven't won that trophy as of yet. But I really think the experience that they bring to the Arsenal team, of young players, and also the winning mentality that they bring, it's rubbing off onto the other players, and all the other players have raised their level. Even Martinelli has scored 2 goals from 2, because he got a goal against Crystal Palace, and then he also scored yesterday against Leicester. So really, it's kind of that it always happens when top players arrive at a football club. Everyone wants to raise their level. Everyone wants to prove that they are elite, that they can perform at a high level, and it brings competition into the squad, and it raises the levels of the squad. And I think that's really what's happened with regards to Arsenal. So I really think it's been a great start to the season so far for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. And as I've said earlier on, that this is a big season for Mikel Arteta. He really has to, we can't keep on saying that they're improving and all of that stuff. He really has to crack on now, and he really has to solidify that top 4 spot. I know it's early on in the season, and it's a long season. It's only 2 games in. There's still 36 games left in the season. We're still going to have the Europa League, so the schedule is still going to be tough. It's not going to be this basically Christmas time that it is right now, that you have a week to prepare for the next game, because once the Champions League starts, once the Carabao Cup starts, then you're going to be playing every 3 days, and you're not going to have a full week to prepare for your opponent. So there's still going to be tough moments in the season, but a great start is always it's always important. It always gives you that solid base for what you want to achieve during the season. So I think it's really been a great start for Mikel Arteta, and in particular Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko. I think they've really helped Arsenal Football Club in terms of raising the level and kind of bringing in that winning mentality into the football club that was not there, because the club was basically putting faith in youth players, and the youth players, obviously, whenever you put faith in youth players, it's not all going to be plain sailing, because the youth players, they're inexperienced, so there are going to be errors at times. But it always helps when you bring in players with quality, with a winning mentality, and players who've played at the highest level, played in the biggest games, and so I think it's really an important start for Arsenal. And I'm really, I say it again, I'm really happy for Gabriel Jesus, and I think he has the potential really to be one of the signings of the summer in terms of how he's been able to improve Arsenal Football Club, in terms of the mentality, in terms of their playing style, and all of that stuff. And then moving on to the other game, Manchester City versus Bournemouth. Obviously, great game of football. I actually did predict the score right in this one. Yeah, I did. I actually said we were going to win 4-0, and we did. But I actually thought at the beginning of the game, in fact, at halftime, I thought I was going to be wrong, because it was already 3-0. So I thought City were going to score more goals and probably going to win 5 or 6-0. But they took their foot off the gas. It was a really hot day at the Etihad yesterday. I think it was 30 degrees Celsius. So that's really a hot day. Especially when you're playing football at a high intensity. Like Premier League football is played at a high intensity. So when you're going to play at 30 degrees Celsius, that takes quite a lot from you. So I think that's one of the major reasons why the players kind of took their foot off the pedal and ended up winning the game 4-0. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne was man of the match. He had a goal, he had an assist, he scored with the outside of his foot. Great technique. That's one of the hardest skills in football. Obviously, I'm not a footballer, but it's really difficult to kind of shoot with the outside foot and lift the ball and then pick basically the bottom corner and then score that way. It's one of the hardest skills in football. I'm sure professional footballers are going to tell you. But obviously Kevin De Bruyne is just a class act. Really put on a masterclass yesterday, played really well. Phil Foden also played well, got a goal and got an assist. But I was unimpressed with Phil Foden in the first half. In fact, he did get a goal and an assist in the first half, but there was one moment with him where I was unimpressed, when he went through on goal, and basically he had a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he also had the option to pass the ball square to Haaland, and Haaland was going to get basically a tap in because it was an empty net because the goalkeeper was going towards Foden. I was unhappy with how Foden kind of reacted to that situation, taking the shot on. That was being a bit selfish. Probably if Erling Haaland is in the same position, he's going to be selfish, but he's probably going to finish the chance off. So I really want to see that from Phil Foden, kind of that unselfishness, because it's really important, especially in the Premier League, when you play these teams that are going to play a low block against you, like how Bournemouth were playing yesterday. We're going to come up against teams during the season that are going to be better organized than Bournemouth, and that are going to defend a lot better than Bournemouth. And it's really going to be difficult to score against them because they're playing a low block. We need to, it's imperative that every time you play a team that's going to play a low block, you score the first goal. And you can't pass up opportunities like the one Phil Foden had, whereby if you just lay the ball off to your teammate square, he's going to get a tap in and it's going to be 1-0. And as soon as it's 1-0, the opposition team, they can't just sit back anymore. They have to come out, because otherwise they know they're going to lose the game if they continue to sit back. So I was really unhappy with Foden with regards to that. I think he needs to be a little bit unselfish in that situation for the benefit of the team. I'm not saying this because I want Erling Haaland to score in every game, but anyone who scores, he helps the team win. So if that's Haaland, if that's De Bruyne, it's the same thing. Phil Foden needs to pass the ball there, so that we basically get a tap in and we won it up. Obviously, we ended up winning the game 4-0, and I think yesterday was kind of Erling Haaland didn't score, but it was and he had 8 touches actually in the game. So I mean, like, when you have 8 touches in a game, a lot of people might say you were poor. But actually, Haaland, I think that performance yesterday was kind of a showcase in terms of, to the people who said he can't hold the ball up, to the people who said his link-up play is not good enough and all of that stuff. Because there are quite a few people who were tipping Haaland to fail, not to fit into a Pep Guardiola system because he's not good on the ball and all of that stuff. He's just a big striker and all of that stuff. That proves that those people never really watched Haaland. They just saw the hype train and probably watched his clips on YouTube and just saw him score goals. But if you actually watch the guy, he's very good technically, and his link-up play is actually very good. There was a great understanding between him and Gundogan yesterday, and Gundogan basically, like, the move basically starts with Haaland, because Walker has the ball, Haaland points to Gundogan. So he's basically indicating to Walker that Walker should pass it to Gundogan. Walker passes it to Gundogan, because Gundogan is obviously that brilliant midfielder with a great football brain. He basically plays a one-touch pass to Haaland. Haaland holds off 2 defenders, and he's able to get the ball under control. And then Gundogan, like any good midfielder would do, he runs into the space. He follows his pass, and by following his pass, he gets into the space because the 2 defenders are occupied by Haaland. Haaland plays him on, and then Gundogan gets an easy finish. It's not an easy finish because the ball is bouncing, but it's a one-on-one chance, which for a player of Gundogan's quality, that's an easy finish. So I think yesterday's performance was basically, Haaland was a 7 out of 10 because he didn't really get a lot of chances, but he still was able to have an effect on the game because of his link-up play. Because he was able to play 1-2 passes with Gundogan, and he got the assist for Gundogan basically. So I think Haaland is more than just a goal scorer. He's really I wouldn't say he's a great footballer, because he's not like a Cancelo in terms of his technical ability and all of that stuff. But he's not a bad footballer. He's not just like a finisher and a person who likes bullying defenders or whatever. He's actually very good in terms of playing football as well. So I think it was a really great performance from him. And, yesterday he could have had 9 touches if the thing I was talking about right now with Phil Foden. If Phil Foden plays the ball square to Haaland, Haaland gets a tap in. And therefore, he would have had 9 touches, and he would have had a goal and an assist from 9 touches. That tells you how brilliant the guy is. Because to not be involved in the game that much, but still have an effect, says a lot about you in terms of your concentration levels, also in terms of quality player you are, in that you're occupied by defenders, but you're still able to have an impact on the game because of your movement and all of that stuff. So I think I was really impressed with Erling Haaland's performance yesterday. I think it was a good performance from him. I wouldn't say it was a brilliant performance or whatever, because he didn't score a goal, but it was a good performance. He had an effect into the game. And so far into the season, we've scored 6 goals. He's scored 2, and he's made 1. So half of the goals that we've scored have Haaland has directly been involved in half of the goals that we've scored. So that's obviously thingy. That's obviously a great thing, because the other person who's involved in half is De Bruyne, because against West Ham he got the assist for Haaland, and then yesterday he got the assist for Phil Foden and scored another one. So that's also kind of great in terms of our performance, and we also kept a clean sheet. Good performance defensively. Bournemouth never really worried us in terms of counter attacks and all of that stuff. So really great all round performance. Was really impressed with Gundogan in the midfield. Great all-round performance from the team, and it's a good start to the season, because Manchester City notoriously are slow starters. Last season, we lost the Community Shield against Leicester. We lost against Tottenham, the opening game. We lost 1-0. And so that was really a great thingy, a good performance and a good start to the season. Actually, talking about the Tottenham loss last season away, that's actually our last away loss in the Premier League. We haven't lost a game in the Premier League away since Tottenham beat us on the opening day of last season. That's a great run. Because also we won against West Ham last week. Hopefully we continue the streak against Newcastle next week. So really good performance from the lads. Really impressed with them. And then on to the big, basically talking point of the weekend so far. Obviously we're gonna have the Chelsea-Tottenham game, so that's probably gonna be a big the big talking point of the weekend. But yesterday, it was an absolutely atrocious performance from Manchester United. I was watching their game, playing against Brentford. Now, if you recall, again, I gave them the benefit of the doubt on Friday, and I said they are going to draw 2-2 against Brentford. And how wrong was I? Because these guys were absolutely shocking in that game. Honestly, I don't know what was happening, but they were just conceding goals left, right, and center. Obviously, De Gea is responsible for 2 of the goals, because you cannot, even if your manager is emphasizing that you should play out from the back, you cannot be passing a ball to your teammate from a goal kick and while your teammate is being pressed, because anyone with a brain can clearly see that Eriksen is under pressure. He's being pressed by the Brentford player. I forgot who that guy is who was pressing Eriksen. But De Gea still plays the ball to him, and as a result, Eriksen is under pressure. The Brentford guy snatches the ball from him, and then Brentford score like that. You just can't do that. And then the first goal, they conceded. Again, De Gea, because you can't really blame the defenders for that. Brentford took a shot, De Gea fumbles the ball, and then they score. So really 2 of the goals, you can't blame the player, you can't blame other players, you can't blame the coach, because there's only so much as a coach that you can do. Erik ten Hag is not in control of whether De Gea makes errors or not in a game. Yes, you can make errors in a game, but you can't make you can't make those 2 errors in the game, because it's costly. Because you make those errors and you're already 2-0 down based on something that you could have totally avoided. So I think it was a poor performance. It was an atrocious performance from David De Gea. But also the defenders didn't really play well. Luke Shaw looked off it. And pretty much everyone, man. I think pretty much all the Manchester United players were less than 5 out of 10 for that performance. They were atrocious. It was a joke, to be honest. I mean, give credit to Brentford. Brentford really played well. I did say Brentford are no mugs. So it's not going to be an easy game for Erik ten Hag going away to the Brentford Community Stadium, because Brentford are no mugs and they know what they're doing. And especially when they play at home, excuse me for that. I don't know what's going on with my eye there. Especially when they're playing at home, they're a really difficult opponent to beat. As I said in the video where I was previewing the games of the weekend, I said last season, these guys drew against They drew against Liverpool. Liverpool couldn't beat Brentford at their stadium. It was a 3-3 draw. And then Manchester City struggled against Brentford. They didn't play well, but even though they won 1-0, they didn't play well in the game. And then Chelsea also struggled in that game, and they were lucky to win. They were bailed out by Mendy's man of the match performance, Edward Mendy's man of the match performance. So it's a really difficult place to go to Brentford, because it's also a small stadium. And as I said in my previous videos, whenever a stadium is small, the noise levels increase, because there's not a lot of space inside the stadium, and therefore the echo of the noise that the fans make really makes it a loud crowd. So the Brentford Community Stadium is a really loud stadium. It's a great stadium to go to. Tough place. It's a hostile environment, and it was a great performance from Brentford, but it was absolutely shambolic from Manchester United. It was shocking. There was no you could not tell. I don't know actually if they look worse under Erik ten Hag than they did last season, because still you cannot tell what style of play they're playing. Yes, you can see that they want to play out from the back, but their build-up play is really shocking. It's one of the worst in the league. It's probably a true reflection of what they've shown on the football pitch, that they're number 20 in the league as it stands. They have 0 points because they've lost both their opening games, and their next game is Liverpool. Now, Mo Salah is going to be rubbing his hands when he watches that Brentford performance and the Brighton performance, and probably Liverpool are going to score 5 unless something drastically changes, unless they drastically improve from the two performances that they've had so far this season. Liverpool is probably going to add to that 9-0 aggregate score that they had last season, because they beat them 4-0 at Anfield and they beat them 5-0 at Old Trafford. So it's an atrocious performance from Manchester United, and the players really didn't cover themselves in glory. Brentford tried to exploit Martinez's weakness of being short, because he's the shortest centre-back in the Premier League. And every time Brentford had corners, every time they had set pieces, they were trying to put the ball into the space where Lisandro Martinez is, because he's short. And the Brentford players obviously are tall. They have Ben Mee, who's one of the tallest centre-backs in the Premier League. And also Ivan Toney is really tall. So Brentford are really good at set pieces, and they tried each and every time they had set pieces to exploit the height of thingy, or to expose the height of Martinez, because the Premier League is a tough league. Yes, Lisandro Martinez played well in the Dutch league, and he had I think the best aerial duels won rate in the Eredivisie last season. But the Premier League is a different kettle of fish, because the Premier League strikers are taller, the defenders are taller. Like, Lisandro Martinez is probably shorter than most midfielders in the Premier League. So it's really a massive disadvantage for him, in that he's one of the shortest centre-backs in the Premier League. And therefore, each and every time Manchester United plays teams like Brentford, like Leicester, all the teams that will rely on set pieces for the season, they will try and exploit that height of Lisandro Martinez, because they know that if we get a guy who's going to tower over Martinez, then we can score from that situation. So it's a really difficult place to be with regards to Manchester United. I was listening to Gary Neville yesterday, kind of lashing out at the owners and all of that stuff. And yes, I think it's important that we don't just deflect the blame to the owners. The players yesterday were atrocious. They didn't offer anything on the football pitch. They didn't give their all for the shirt that they were wearing, and they were just not there. They were just absent. It's like they went onto the pitch, and as soon as the whistle went in terms of the game starting, they were gone. Like they were not there, because Brentford, it was as easy as a performance is going to get for Brentford for this whole season. And to say that about Manchester United really signifies how bad they are and how far they've fallen, to be honest. And I think Gary Neville was right in terms of partially criticizing the owners, because the owners of Manchester United have not put on the right structure at the football club, because we've been saying this for a long time in terms of their players not being good enough. Like, their players are not good. Fred is not good enough. It's not his fault that he can't pass the football. It's not his fault that he doesn't have great awareness of the game. He doesn't know how to recognize where danger is. That's not his fault. He's just not good enough. And then so like, the club should be recruiting the right players for the football club that are going to be good enough for the goals that Manchester United has, because Manchester United want to go back to the glory days. They want to win Champions League titles again. They want to win the Premier League again. So it's not the players' fault that they're not good enough, but the board have not put on the right structure at the football club and the right scouting system at the football club, so that they can get the right players in, so that they can start improving. So as much as, yes, we can blame the Manchester United players and cast them out and say they were shocking, they were atrocious, and basically use each and every word in the English language that there is to describe how bad they were. Also, I think the Manchester United owners deserve a lot of blame for not putting the right structure into the football club, because you need to be able to recruit players that are good enough for what you want to achieve. Like, if you're a mid-table team, you need to recruit players that are going to be good enough so that you can be a mid-table team by the end of the season. Probably Brentford and Brighton, two of the teams that beat Manchester United in their first opening 2 games, they have a better scouting department and scouting system than Manchester United have. And obviously it's really shocking, to be honest, from them, because, as I said last week with regards to Brentford, not Brentford, Brighton, Moise Caicedo, who was playing as the holding midfielder for Brighton at Old Trafford last week, is a better holding midfielder than Fred. And Brighton paid less than 10 million for that guy. And Man United paid 52 million pounds for Fred. That's just bad recruitment. Like, why can't Manchester United get that player? Because it's a huge football club, have all the money. You can't possibly tell me that if Caicedo had a choice to choose between going to Brighton and Manchester United, that he would choose Brighton. So it's really bad, like the scouting department, the hierarchy at the football club. It's really like, yes, they invest money in the transfer market. Yes, they spend money, but they're not spending the money right. And if you have money and you can't spend it, it's the same as if you don't have it, because you're just going to waste it. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 in your bank account if you're just going to go to the pub and buy alcohol with it, because you'll buy alcohol and you'll be wasted, and then you're going to basically, that's all going to go to waste because you're going to excrete it in the end. So that you're the same as someone who doesn't have any money, because you're going to waste it. So it's exactly the same thing with regards to Manchester United. They have all the money, but because they don't have the right scouting system, they don't have the right director of football, they don't have, it's like, what I'm saying, that Brentford and Brighton have a better scouting system, they have a better recruitment system than Manchester United, which is supposed to be one of the biggest clubs in the world. So it's really shambolic from them, to be honest. Really, really bad performance. Dark day in their history. I think Erik ten Hag is the first manager in over 100 years to lose his first 2 games in charge as a Manchester United manager. That really it kind of summarizes how shocking their start has been. And it's not going to get any easier, because they face Liverpool next. And they probably, as I've said, Liverpool are probably going to score 5 goals against Manchester United or more, unless Manchester United drastically improve. I don't know how they're going to drastically improve, because they've had pre-season, they've had 2 weeks to they've had a week to prepare for Brighton, they lost. They had a week to prepare for Brentford, they lost. And they lost 4-0 against Brentford. If Brentford can score 4 goals against Man United, how many goals can Liverpool score against them? I mean, it's really, really, really scary moment for Manchester United fans, to be honest. And I don't know how they can improve their football club, but I think you need to have the right recruitment system at a football club and the right director of football. If you don't have the right director of football, the right sporting director, the right recruitment system, you'll never be able to be successful, no matter how much money you have, because it's all well and good to have money. If you don't know how to spend the money, then you don't have it, because you're going to waste the money. And which is what Manchester United have done. Pogba, Fred, Alexis Sanchez, the list goes on. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka. How can Aaron Wan-Bissaka be playing for Manchester United? The guy literally can't even attack with the football. And this is not an attack on the guy. He's a great defender. He's one of the best defenders in the world in terms of, if you rank right backs according to their defensive abilities, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not outside the top 3. He's probably the best. But for Manchester United, he's the worst, because you can't have, if you want to play a progressive style of football, attacking football, you can't have a right back that can't even pass the ball. Same thing with Fred. So they have all this money, but they've wasted the money. So really, it was an atrocious performance from Manchester United. Really shocking performance from them, to be honest. It's only going to get worse, because Liverpool next. And good luck Man United fans. Kind of feel sorry for you, to be honest. It is what it is. We had years of mediocrity at Manchester City. Before we won a league title, before we won an FA Cup title in 2011, the last time we had won a trophy was in 1970, which was, I think, like that was the time when Colin Bell and Mike Summerby were still playing, and those guys are basically Colin Bell recently died, and the other guys are basically closing onto their 80s, if they're not more than 80 years old. So it's football is basically is all about cycles. But there's no reason why Manchester United should be this shocking, simply because of the size of their football club and the amount of resources that they have. But because they don't have the right people in the right positions, they find themselves in this terrible position. So I think that brings us to the end of the video. As I've said, I'll make a video about Liverpool, Liverpool and Crystal Palace tomorrow or Tuesday, because the game is playing Monday night. But I'll make a video about Tottenham and Chelsea tomorrow in terms of the result. Obviously, I've said I think Tottenham are going to win. I think Conte really has something brewing at Tottenham. Obviously, Tottenham, they don't really like going to Stamford Bridge because they seem to always lose there. They have one win there in the last 40 years or last 35 years. So it's really a tough place to go to with regards to Tottenham. But yeah, we shall see how they will perform. And if you like the video, if you like the points that I made, or if you have any comments, please comment in the section below. If you like the video, please push the thumbs up button. And then if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. And also please push the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. And thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.